Hey guys, welcome back to the final part of the Q&A. This is part 7. Bit of a long one, but hopefully you've enjoyed it so far. Just want to apologise for not putting any videos up recently. It's been a hell of a while. And yeah, basically been working, usual kind of thing that everyone says, been working hard, not had a lot of time at night time. So it's like, it's trying to find spare time to film the videos, put it together and put it on the internet. It takes time. I'm not going to make any excuses, there's no reason for it at all, but I'm back now, so there you go. Right, so let's crack straight on with part 7, the final part of the Q&A. And the next question is from Nick Terrence, so thank you for the question, mate. And he asks, my top 5 favourite games of all time. He says in brackets, video games, not board games. And then he says, actually, what's his top 5 of both board and video games? Board games, really difficult. Never really played a lot. I've only played like the odd one here and there as growing up. So I couldn't really give you top 5 games. I'll just show you. I'll give you 5 that I enjoyed when I was a kid. So it'd be like Operation, brilliant. Snakes and Ladders, classic. What else have we got? Told you it was tough. Scrabble, a bit more intellectual, and not really probably what kids should be playing, but I enjoyed it. It was a good game. Never really played Monopoly that much when I was a kid, so that doesn't count. Or Trivial Pursuit, those were never games I really played. 2 more board games. Christ, it's really hard to think about it. I mean, technically Operation isn't really a board game, but it's sort of in that vein, I suppose. I don't know, maybe. I don't think about it, I don't think it is actually a board game at all, is it? It's just a toy, but yeah, I don't know. I'm going to count it anyway. Yeah, that's it really. I can't think of 2 more actually. Board games are really difficult, I don't know. Video games, top 5, really tough. But I'm going to go with games that already stand the test of time and I play constantly and never get bored of. And I'll also pick a game from this generation, which I believe in the future will be one that's in the same vein that I'll keep going back to it. So that would be Uncharted 2. I think that's just one of the greatest games ever made. Just the complete package. The story, the acting, the characters, the gameplay, the scenarios they put you in, the level design, the gunplay, just everything is just so much fun and so well constructed. I love that game to bits. Then it would be, I can't put these in order by the way, because it's just impossible to put them in order. But I'd say Uncharted 2, Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Any of the Street Fighter 2 games are great, except for Super Street Fighter 2, that was crap. But Turbo, I've seen it many a time, it is my favourite, it's the best version. Castlevania 4, love that game to bits. It's a bit short, but graphically it looks great, it plays great. I love the fact that you had more manoeuvrability with, it was Simon in that one, I'm sure it was Simon Belmont. Being able to do 8-directional aiming with your whip and just being able to dive down and do a diagonal whip. When you play Dracula X and you can't, and it's so annoying. and I love the music on Castlevania 4, it's some of my favourite video game music of all time. So yeah, that has to be in there. Super Mario World, without doubt. I know a lot of people pick Mario 3 as their favourite Mario game. Me personally, it's Mario World. I love the addition of Yoshi, I thought the level design was fantastic. The tunes and all are just some of my absolute favourite of all time on any game. They just really are what they're absolutely brilliant. Yeah, God, I love that. It's fantastic. And then I'd probably pick Halo Combat Evolved would be the other one. Mainly because it was just such a groundbreaking game at the time. It was revolutionary really, because we had a lot of good first-person shooters on consoles, but they'd never really nailed that console first-person experience properly. That real expansive, immersive experience with top quality, solid controls, really good storyline. Before that it was all things like Quake, Doom, and while those games are brilliant, Halo was better because it had that extra, it had that story, it had the characters, it had a world to immerse yourself in. While it was rather large at times and it could get a little frustrating because it took a long time to get through a lot of the levels, but it was just an absolutely brilliant game, so completely refreshing at the time I thought. And it's funny how now, because that's the norm, I actually would like to see them go backwards. And I miss games like Quake 3, the old just standard deathmatch, because that was just brilliant. I love that game. So yeah, thank you for the question, Nick, and I hope that answered it the best I could. Next one from a good friend Rich, Crash Test Gaming. And Rich asks, how much have I spent on gaming since joining YouTube? I don't know, honestly don't know, mate, to be quite honest. And it's difficult because I think I don't keep a tally of what I spend, and the prices of games are changing all the time. And I was looking at my Super Nintendo collection this morning actually, and that is the one I spent the most money on. Without doubt, when I started YouTube, I have to look at my very first video. I didn't have many Super Nintendo games. That was the point where I just moved house. I'd sold my Japanese Super Famicom collection and pretty much everything else, and I only had like 37 Xbox games and a handful of Super Nintendo games. And so I just started back on the Super Nintendo to try and get the American games, and they've grown quite considerably since then. That would be the biggest investment. I mean, you've got to be talking a couple of grand's worth easy, I would have thought, over the last 3 years. Then of course all the Xbox games, I mean, you know, when I started with about 37, as I say, I'm now at about 230-ish, around there. So even if you say £2 a game, there's a few £100 there. So, yeah, I don't actually know, it's got to be a couple of grand at least, put it that way. Which is quite insane really, but at least with the Super Nintendo stuff, and I'll never sell them, but at least they're an investment. Because sometimes I look on eBay America and I look at the prices people are asking for common games, and I just think, my God, I'm so glad I got them when they were cheap. Now, a prime example is Axley. The prices of that at the moment, people are asking stupid prices for that. It's just not worth it at all. You know, but I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so there you go. Next question from Rich is my most embarrassing purchase. I don't really have one, to be honest, Rich. I'm not the kind of person that is embarrassed by my purchases, because I always buy things I want. You know, I might regret buying them later down the line and think they're not as good as I thought they were originally, but I never get embarrassed by them. I just think, well, you know, at least I bought it and I'll give it a try. I can always sell it on. But yeah, I don't really get embarrassed. My best bargain, without doubt, was when I got Final Fight Tough, the Japanese version of Final Fight 3, years ago. I originally purchased it for the going rate of £100 at the time. I managed to get 2 copies for £100 each. And then one day I was at work and I looked on eBay. Yeah, I know I was at work. And I saw a guy in China list one, and it was box complete, mint condition, $24 by now, which at the time was £12. And I just thought, nah, that just can't be right. He's got to have mislisted that. But I thought, well, I've got 2 copies, but I'm having that one as well. So I clicked on it, not expecting it to come, expecting him to just like go, oh, sorry, I listed it to the wrong price. But no, he did send it, and I was just in total shock. I was like, what? Did you not do any research? I mean, that was ridiculous. I ended up with 3 copies of that game, which is just insane. That was a great bargain. Next question, my most hated eBayer. I don't have a hated eBayer. I mean, there are a lot of crap eBayers, especially UK eBayers anyway. In fact, mostly UK eBayers. If I buy from eBay sellers outside of the UK, never really had any problems that I can think of that jump to mind. Except for one once, and that was the guy who I bought a Sega CD from. He was a twat, but I mean, that is it really. Generally, I don't really have aggravation outside of the UK. It's mainly UK eBay sellers just don't know what they're doing, and they're really piss poor. I don't know, to be honest, I don't know screen names, and I don't really pay attention to what people's screen names are, and that's the other thing. So I really should, when I get a crap service, I should take note, but yeah, there's a lot. And which YouTuber inspired you? Honestly, mate, I know a lot of people on YouTube, when their channels have been going for a while and they've got a decent subscription base, they tend to say things like, oh, you know, Pete Dorr inspired me, or the Happy Console Gamer, or Gamester81, or any number of other people that they've watched have inspired them. It never happened for me that way. When I started on YouTube, I had absolutely no interest. I never used to have my photo taken. I wouldn't go on video cameras. I was not someone who likes cameras at all. And so this is completely alien for me. It's weird how I've become accustomed to it, and it doesn't bother me now, but I've been doing it for 3 years, so it shouldn't. But yeah, the reason I started on YouTube, we have a family friend who was making YouTube videos at the time. He does music mashup videos, and he's no longer making YouTube videos as far as I'm aware. But at the time, he was doing pretty well, being pretty successful with it. And the one night I was driving home with my dad. He was driving, I was in the passenger seat, not that it matters. And he was just, talking to me about how the guy was getting on, and what he was doing with his channel, and what was the success he was having, and what people he'd met and everything. And we just had a chat about it. And my dad suggested that I have a look on YouTube, and he's like, why don't you have a look, see what you think? So I created a channel, watched people's videos. I don't remember exactly who the first person I found in the retro community was, and why I started watching retro game videos. I mean, obviously I was a collector anyway, so that's probably why. But I can't remember if it was like, I don't think it was X-File at first, but I know X-File was one of the first people I was watching. There was a few. There was X-File. There was oh god, I can't think what his screen name was. I think his name was Carlos. I think that's what his was that his name? I think that's what his name was. He was a British guy, really really nice bloke, and I can't remember what his screen name was. That's really annoying. And there was Lefarius as well, who was around at that time. And there were a couple of other people I was watching. I was really enjoying their content, and I think I've commented now and again and made the odd message here and there. And then I just thought, why not? My dad sort of pushed me, like, give it a shot, and I just thought, well, why not give it a try? And if you look on my YouTube channel, the very first video, I'm not sure if it's the very first video actually. That might be the ones where I was just messing around with Windows Media Player, just Movie Player Maker, Windows Movie Maker, whatever it's called. Trying to work out how to do editing and stuff, which didn't last long. And then the first video I did with an actual camera was like this crap camera on my mobile phone. It was just chronic, and it was literally me just being absolutely mega nervous, just showing the games that I had at the time, which were very minimal. And it just went from there, just spiraled. It took a while to get noticed, obviously, and people would come across, and I was very lucky because I had people like Nefarious and a few other YouTubers who at the time were really helpful and came along and left comments and supported me and helped me build my channel, which was just absolutely brilliant. That's what you need when you start out. You need people to take notice and to comment and to say, like, you're doing a good job, and to go and tell other people about your channel, and that's really helpful. So yeah, it was more my dad inspired me than anything else. He was the one that got me into this. So next question is another question from Nick Terrence. Nick asks, one of my 3 favourite bands, music artists or artists of all time. Another really difficult question, mate. I honestly can't just quantify 3 people or 3 bands, or it's just impossible. I mean, bands, Stone Sour, one of my favourite. I'll do 2 in one, Stone Sour and Slipknot, because Corey Taylor's frontman for both, and Corey Taylor is by far my favourite frontman. He's just got amazing charisma, and I've seen him live so many times now, and he's just absolutely awesome every time. So those 2 will be one. Next one will be Killswitch Engage, but I only like Killswitch Engage for one album, and that is Alive or Just Breathing, because that is my favourite metal album of all time. It's just an absolute masterpiece. The emotion in that album is just unreal, and the skill of the band, and I can't remember the name of the guy who was the lead singer at that time, but the frontman was just unbelievable, and the blend of his vocals with the rest of the band, and just everything just mashed perfectly. It's just an absolutely beautiful album. I don't know if Howard is still the frontman now, who's the guy that took over. He was good, he did a good job, but not as good as the original guy. The original guy's amazing. If you've never listened to Killswitch Engage, check out Alive or Just Breathing. It's an amazing album. And who else? Oh yeah, of course, Lacuna Coil. What am I thinking about? They're one of my all-time favourite bands. I absolutely love them to bits. They're just fantastic Italian rock band quality. If you're talking music artists, well, Michael Jackson, obviously. It's difficult actually when you think about it. Oh God, I don't know. I mean, I'd say if you're talking like pure talent and just irrespective of lifestyle and all that sort of stuff, and what people do, I don't really care. Like Michael Jackson, there's all that stuff surrounding him, but musically, the guy was a genius, and he played some of the best music ever. George Michael is another one. That guy, if you've ever seen him do the MTV Unplugged in his heyday, that guy was just phenomenal. I mean, he's so good live. And he's made some great tunes as well. And who else would I pick? Just looking at my music collections, trying to get some inspiration. That's really tough when it's solo artists. I've actually thinking about one about, of course, Tupac. Massive fan of his. My teen years were all about R&B and hip hop, and Tupac was my favourite rapper. So yeah, it's got to be there. Next question is from somebody whose name I can't pronounce, so I do apologise. It's Neighbour Are You? I probably just butchered that, sorry dude. And he asked me if I live alone. No, I don't. Next question is from Shane Price. Thank you, Shane. And his question is, what's the highest price you've paid for an awful game, and what's the biggest regret you've had gaming wise? I've not really paid a high price for a crap game. Generally, if I'm buying games, it's games I want, and if it's a game that I'm interested in because I've seen some YouTube footage and it looks good, I won't pay a lot of money for it because in case it is crap. So I've never actively gone out looking for a really shit game and paid a lot of money for it. And if it was that, if I knew it was a shit game but I just wanted to play it to try it out, I wouldn't pay a lot of money for it. I'd try and wait until I get it for a decent price. And what's my biggest regret, gaming wise? Without doubt, selling my Super Famicom collection. That was a mistake. I had to at the time because I was getting kind of lost in the collecting. I was just buying everything under the sun. I just had enough and I just wanted to get rid of it all and start again from fresh. So yeah, I sold that, and I do regret that because I had a really mint condition boxed console, the baggies for the console and the controllers, everything was immaculate, and it only cost me 80 quid at the time, so I was really chuffed. I had a really nice, decent collection again, not a massive collection, but not a tiny collection, it's just a reasonable size collection. I don't exactly know, but you've got to be talking about 50 games or something at the time, and I was really happy with the way it was going. But yeah, I regret that, and I also regret my Atari Jaguar as well. I had a brand new boxed Atari Jaguar, which I bought sealed. I did take it out and play on it, and also had the Jaguar CD sealed as well. And I got both of those for £150 buy now in a special deal on the bloke who was selling them all on eBay at the time. And I sold those on like an idiot, and I really regret that now looking at the price of the Jaguar CD and the Jaguar consoles. Not more the CD than the console, to be honest, but I mean, yeah, that was annoying. Shouldn't have done that. But you know, I've done it a lot. I say my biggest regret is probably the fact that I keep bloody buying, selling, and I'm doing my best to not do that anymore because I'm sick of doing that. So thanks, Shane. Cheers for the question, mate. Okay, next one is from Indie Daisy 1, and he asked me, if you were told you could only have one more Nintendo game for any system you could only have, which one would it be? Sunset Riders for the Super Nintendo, because I really want that game a lot, and it's a great arcade game, and it's one of those games that even though it's expensive, if it was my last ever Nintendo game to own, it would be a game that I can play and keep coming back for more, because it's got that, because it's an arcade game basically. I mean, it's literally just, it's not a game that you're going to get bored of. It's a lot of fun. I will get it eventually, it's just bloody expensive, and people are overcharging for it as well, because I've looked on American eBay and looked at completed listings, and I should be paying around about $90 to $100. Unfortunately, at the moment people are charging around about $150, and they can kiss my ass. I'm not paying that. I'll pay $110 if I have to, but that's my limit. But yeah, I'll get that eventually. Next question from good friend Michael Coleman, good bloke on YouTube here. His question is, do you follow any sport? No, I don't. To be honest, the only sport I ever watch, I don't follow sport at all. I don't pay attention to what's happening in sport, but the only sport I will watch is Wimbledon. I've really got into that in the last few years, and I really enjoy it a lot. I really like tennis. It's weird. It's not a sport I thought I'd have enjoyed, but I don't know, I really get into it, and it's proper intense when you get good rallies going, and you know, like if you get to a point where it's like really like on the line and they need to score the point, and it's just like, it's just fantastic. I absolutely love it. It's weird because I'm not a sport person. I've never grown up with sport. My parents don't watch sport, so it's never been something that's been in my life, and that's why I've never had any interest in it. But I really do like Wimbledon. And he asks, and do you do any kind of sport yourself? Definitely not. Definitely not. I'm not motivated in that way at all. I'm a very lazy person, hence why I'm a gamer. And his next question is, what was the first game you ever completed? I honestly don't know, Michael, to be honest. I've got no clue. My memory's hazy, and I know as you get older it's more difficult to remember when you're as a kid. And I don't remember completing a lot of games. I know a lot of the time it was a case of, because I had so many games as a kid to play on the Commodore, on the 64 and the Amiga, I had boxes and boxes of games, and so literally I'd be picking them, playing and going like from one to the other, and it was just never really about completing them, it was just about playing them and enjoying them. The only games that stick in my mind are games like Akari Warriors. I'm pretty certain I completed that bloody hard game there. Monkey Island, completed both of those, absolutely love those games. I completed all 3 Last Ninja games, it took me forever. I don't remember what happens at the end, but I know I completed them. But I don't remember what the first game I ever completed was, and I'd say it wasn't really a big thing about completing games back then. It was just, just literally playing them. Whereas nowadays, because they're cinematic, it is about completing them. It is completely different, really. So thank you, Michael. I appreciate those questions, mate. Next question is from, how do I pronounce that? Is it Sakatak89? I think that's what it is. Hope that's right. Do you ever get really, really pissed off at a video game? Oh yeah, all the time. Modern games in particular, because generally they're broken, or they're frustrating, or difficult. Well, not even difficulty, as I said before. they have this silly thing where they feel that the need to just beat you over the head until you get it right and you get through the section, and you have to just keep repeating yourself and repeating yourself and repeating yourself. And to me, that's not how you make game difficulty at all. It should be a gradual thing. You should be challenging, not difficult, if that makes sense. I've said this before. You should be able to play a game and be able to progress and to be like, oh, that was my fault, I made that mistake, I know what to do now, I can change my tactics and try something different, instead of the effing game is just pissing me off because the developers just wanted to beat me over the head with it and don't want to make it challenging. They just want to make it so that I just die for no bloody reason, or the game's broken, or it's just utter crap. If you look at Nintendo games, those are challenging games, those are well made, extremely well crafted games, where when you play like a Mario game, it's your fault if you die, it's your mistake, and you know how to rectify that next time and to improve and advance, and therefore you don't get as angry. You might curse at Mario and call him a little twat, but I mean, you don't get that angry. A lot of PlayStation, Xbox games just make me want to scream and make me just get the pad and go, "Argh!" And that's not good. Not good at all. So the next question is from Amuro White Demon, and his first question, he's got two questions. So his first question: how do you feel that people consider PS2, Xbox and GC, GameCube retro? Well, they are technically retro because they are last gen, but yeah, I see your point, they're not actually retro. I think realistically retro, I mean, it depends where you look at it and how you put your time on it. I think retro really is probably like, I mean, really a real retro? You're talking proper retros like the 70s and the 80s, like, you know, like the Ataris and the televisions and the 8-bit systems, that's proper retro. I mean, do you really even count 16-bit, 32 and 64 as retro? I mean, they do count, but I don't know if they really are yet. I don't know. It depends how you look at it. I personally don't think it matters. I think at the end of the day, anything that's from last gen backwards is retro. It is a bit weird calling Xbox and PlayStation 2. PlayStation 2 in particular, I don't know if you can call that retro, because I don't even know. I don't know if they've stopped making games yet. I mean, Christ, they've been making games for that system for so long, and it's like, it's still current, even though it's not what people term current gen. It's still a common system, because if they're making games for it, it's a common system. I mean, they may have stopped making games now, I don't know, but I know for a long time they're making games for it, and they do stick to their 10-year life cycle, so you got to give Sony their props there. That's really impressive. Next question is: do you believe that this generation's youth are missing out on gaming gems by being ushered onto 360 and PS3s with their FPS and FIFAs, etc.? It's hard to say, as I'm not a kid. I don't know, but not being a teenager myself, and you know the way I mean, as an adult, I look at society nowadays, and I do wonder what the hell's going on, because to be a teenager must be really shitty these days, because you're constantly bombarded with this advertising and this pressure to, like, you've got to be this certain way, and you've got to play this certain game, you've got to listen to this certain music, you've got to watch these certain films, and it just, you know, and you've got to be on Facebook, you've got to be on Twitter, you've got to be, you know, you've got to have a phone, you've got to have this, you've got to have that, and it's ridiculous. I think it's absolutely ludicrous. I think at the end of the day, if you get into gaming and you've never played games before, I would like to hope that you would say maybe start with Call of Duty. Say that's like your friends are playing Call of Duty, you think, oh, that looks really good, I'll give that a try. I like that. I'll go and buy myself a PlayStation or an Xbox, or shortly a Wii U, and I'll play the latest Call of Duty. And then you might think, well, what else has it got to offer? And you might expand and try different things. But I know that probably there are quite a cross section of people who aren't going to do that, and are just going to play like your Call of Duties or your FIFAs or your Maddens, and that's all they're going to play. And really, I mean, is it really that big a deal? I mean, I don't really see a problem with it. It's quite elitist when we actually say that, you know, they're wrong to do that. But at the end of the day, if you want to play games and you enjoy them, it doesn't matter what the game is. It doesn't matter if it's on a phone, on a tablet, on a console, on a computer. It doesn't matter what kind of genre you play. It doesn't matter, because there are people that probably watch my videos or have seen my videos and have found out that I hate, well, not hate, but I dislike RPG games and RTS games. They just don't do it for me at all. No, I'm not someone who's just going to say they're crap because I've never played them. I've actually tried to play these games and I can't get into it. They're not my thing. They just don't connect with me at all. And there will be elitist people out there who, for them, RPGs are the greatest games ever made and are the best way to play games. And therefore, they would see me in the same way that someone who's on the same level as me in terms of the games that I play would see someone who plays FIFA and FPS games only. So it's all bullshit, really. At the end of the day, play what you want to play. Enjoy what you want to enjoy. Life's too short, you know what I mean? Just enjoy the games. If you're gaming, it's a good thing. You know, if you get lost playing a FIFA game and you enjoy building your way up the league, and you know you want to win the World Cup or whatever, or you know you want to play Call of Duty online, you don't want to play the campaign, and you want to become the best at that, go for it, knock yourself out. Why not? If you're enjoying it, that's all that matters. It's your money. You spend it on what you want to spend it on. That's the way I look at it. Next question is from Paula Ventris. Really great YouTubers, some fantastic gameplay videos. Question number 1, how are you today? I'm pretty damn good. Sun's out. It's Sunday morning and I'm pretty chilled out, so I'm feeling good, mate. Thank you. Hope you're doing well too. And question 2, when would you think your collection is complete, and or do you have a certain goal for your collection after which you're done and stop collecting? Really good question. You know, I really am stuck at this point as to what to do. I really have this massive urge, and I really don't see myself doing it because I probably would regret it, but I have this huge urge to just say, right, that's it. Everything that's not 16-bit, gone. Sell the lot. Just sell it all, and then just make my game room a 16-bit game room, and only collect Super Nintendo and Genesis. But I don't know if I can do that. Financially, it'd be better for me because I wouldn't be spreading myself so thin across so many systems. But I just don't know if I can do it because I do like to play on the Xbox. I like to play on the N64, the Dreamcast. I love the Master System. It's a great system. The PS2 now and again, the GameCube when I feel like it. It's just I don't know if I really want to continue with all these systems. And then I also think, well, if I do that, there's the aggravation of selling it all. I mean, the Xbox games, I've got over 200 Xbox games. Do I really want the aggravation of listing those individually on eBay? No, not at all. It would have to go as a package. I'd have to sell the whole lot and get someone to come and collect them, and that would be a difficult sell. Yeah, I just don't know. I think lately as well, I've been a little bit frustrated. I've been a little bit not sure what I'm doing, and am I doing the right thing with this collecting thing? Where am I going with it is the question. You know, my Super Nintendo collection never wavers because I love the Super Nintendo. It's the best. It is my favourite system without doubt, and I never get bored of buying new Super Nintendo games because when I get a new game, I'm really happy and I enjoy playing them. And you know, even when there are times when I haven't played the old consoles for say a week or two, and then I'll go and I'll say what I'm going to play, and I'll put Mario Kart on, or Castlevania, or Contra, or Mario World, or the other night I put Donkey Kong Country on, and it reminds me why I love that system so much and why I retro game, or just game really. So yeah, I mean, my aim for Super Nintendo is 200 games. I think that's enough. But if I was to do what I'm thinking and sell everything and only keep the Super Nintendo and the Genesis, I would probably go for a lot more. And I've got I think I have got a list somewhere saved away for the Genesis. So I have got a lot of games I want to buy for that system. There are a lot of fantastic titles. There are a lot of cross-platform games I want to get on the Genesis to see how they compare with the Super Nintendo versions, because I'm finding that a lot of the time they tend to be better. So that'd be quite interesting to get both and try them. And there are always different experiences on both consoles, which I like as well. You know, that's the best thing about 16-bit gaming, really. You know, you genuinely did get different versions. You didn't get identical games like you get nowadays on different systems. But yeah, I don't know. I've just been having a lot of thought about it lately, and I just feel like I'm just throwing money at stuff, and I don't think it's not really working for me. I don't have the motivation. But then if I sold my Xbox collection, I'd be gutted because I wouldn't have games like Black and Halo to play, and yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I probably won't do it, to be honest, but if I could, I would. That would be the ideal situation. Just have a game room just stacked with Super Nintendo and Genesis games. That would be fantastic. I would love that. And then I could just go crazy and just buy the box Super Nintendos, all different versions of box Super Nintendo that I could get, and the accessories and all that, and get myself the Genesis accessories. I really want to get a Menace gun box. That would be fantastic. I'd love to get one of those. They're about $100, but I would love one of those. So there you go. Yeah. So thank you for the question, mate. Bit of a long answer, but I'm in a bit of a transitional period at the moment. I really don't know where I'm going. If anybody wants to give me some suggestions, please do, because I could probably do with them. Next question is from the Hayes Clan HD, who asks, I don't know if that's one person or a group of people, but the question is, how did you get into gaming? And PS, love your videos. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, mate. Yeah, I mean, I've mentioned this many a time, but obviously if you're new to my channel, you might not know. The reason I got into gaming was my dad. Basically, he had a Commodore 64 when I was a child, and I have this vivid memory of being in the bedroom and he had it set up on the floor, and I assume it was like a 14 or 15 inch TV at the time. It was the 80s, so it was one of them small 4x3 TVs, and I just remember him letting me have a go on it, and we had Way of the Exploding Fist on at the time, and that was the first game I ever played, and it hooked me. I was like, as soon as I started playing it, I was like, this is brilliant, and I just never looked back. It was just, from then onwards I was like hooked to the Commodore, and eventually as time went on I got my own Commodore, and my dad brought me the like Fantastic pack, the white one that looks like an Amiga. That was great. That was a great Christmas, and a massive light gun. And then I got a Commodore Amiga 500, which was just ridiculous. I mean, it's so hard to quantify what that meant to me at the time, because those were so expensive, and I couldn't believe I actually had one. So my mate had one, and I used to go out his house and play his, and I was just like, oh, this is just ridiculous. So when I got my own and I played Xenon 2, and I was just like, there's just nothing like it. There's no thing. As an adult, it's great that you can buy your own consoles and everything, and I get excited for new console launches, but as a kid, not knowing if you're going to get that system and really, really wanting it, and then when you get it and your parents have managed to buy it for you, there's just no feeling like that at all. Those were great days, man. So yeah, it all started with Commodore for me. Fantastic systems. So thank you for the question. And the last couple of questions are from, let me see who the first one's from. The first one is from Iron Brew 1986, another fantastic YouTuber, and it says, probably a bit late to ask this. I was trying to think of a question that no one would have asked, but here is my question. Okay. So, if you would take parts and features from all the different consoles ever made to make a super console, what would they be? Why would you choose them? And what would you name your super console? Really, really good question, and very difficult to answer, so thank you. Right, features and parts. Right. One feature I would take, first of all, would be the PlayStation dashboard, the PlayStation 3 dashboard, because I really like that, because it's simplistic. It's simple, effective, anyone can use it. You don't need, so it's not convoluted, you can just go in there and use it. And it's a really great media hub. I absolutely love the PlayStation 3 XMB, it's great. So I'd definitely use that for the main screen. I'd make it a cartridge machine, so I'd probably take the Mega Drive cartridge slot and Mega Drive cartridge design, because they're small and compact, and they've got a nice rounded edge, and they're just, especially like the Japanese ones as well, probably the Japanese Mega Drive, because their cartridges are really nice. I would have Super Nintendo controllers, because they're the best controllers ever made. I absolutely love those, adore them. And I'd have some USB ports on there, obviously, so that you can transfer your movies and that, and, do your media and do your music. That's essential. And I'd probably have some kind of upscaling as well, whether it be from a PlayStation or whatever, some kind of upscaling, so that it well, I don't even know why you'd need that, actually, thinking about it, but it sort of has to be backwards compatible with old cartridge machines. Like, I don't even know, you have to have a universal cartridge slot, so yeah, like, just backwards compatible with Genesis then, wouldn't it? So that's not going to work, actually. Just forget that completely. I don't know what I was thinking now, just going off on a tangent. But yeah, we'll have a Japanese Mega Drive cartridge slot with Mega Drive cartridge design, but high capacity, so they can handle modern gaming. Have USB ports, we'd have a PlayStation 3 XMB, Super Nintendo controllers. You may need a few more buttons, or you may need to put some analog sticks on there. In fact, you have Super Nintendo controllers with PlayStation DualShock analog sticks in the middle. That could be kind of weird, but what the hell, why not? Yeah, and what you'd call it, I just don't know. I'm no good with console names. I'll leave that to you guys to come up with one for that design, see if you can think of a name, because I haven't got a clue. I'm really crap at naming consoles, but yeah, really great question, mate, and that's a really difficult one, because it takes a lot of thought, that does, but off the top of my head, that's what I'd go with. So yeah, so the battery's about to die, guys. I'm just going to change the battery, and I'll be back very soon. Hey guys, back again. Right, okay, so the last couple of questions just to finish this off, and the first one is from Niall Clare, so thank you very much. And his question is, right, just bear with me. Okay, so he's asking me, what do I think of an Uncharted movie? Or what would I think of an Uncharted movie? I think that's a brilliant idea. I know there's been a lot of rumours about it for a long time. They've been trying to get the script right and everything. And I know there's rumours that Mark Wahlberg would be playing Nate. No, don't do it. Please don't do that. Nathan Fillion, or Phelan, I never know how you say his surname, but you know, Richard Castle, without doubt. I mean, the guy who just personifies Nathan Drake, and he would be the perfect choice. Whether he's going to get the role, don't know. But honestly, I'm pretty certain, I haven't read up on it in a long time, but I'm pretty certain that Naughty Dog were in talks with whichever studio is doing it. So it isn't a case of they're just going to make a crap film. Naughty Dog are going to have input, which I hope to God that is still the case, because they need to be. Because if you don't bring Naughty Dog on board, the film will tank and it'll be awful. And it'll be another shit video game movie. But I think, I mean, the storylines in Uncharted, you know, I mean, it'd have to be a completely new story, obviously, but it really does have potential to make a fantastic movie if it's well handled and it's well scripted and they get the right actors. I mean, realistically, I don't know. I'm trying to think. My brain's just gone blank as to what the guy's name is that plays Nathan Drake. I can see him, Nolan North. I don't know if Nolan North has actually done any proper acting. And I don't mean to be disrespectful to Nolan North, because he's a great actor, but I mean, in terms of like if he's done movie acting or if he's just done video games, I'm not sure. I don't know his background, but I mean, realistically, the ideal way to do it would obviously be to get him, and I think it's Richard McGonagall. I think that's his name, the guy that plays. I'm in a complete brain freeze today. Oh, come on. Sully. Jesus Christ, my brain just went completely dead. Yeah, I'm sure it's Richard McGonagall. I think that's his name. The guy that plays Sully anyway. And obviously Emily Rose, who plays Elena. I mean, I don't know, because obviously she's a proper actress anyway. I mean, she does like Haven. So I don't know if they could just make a film and have those three play the parts, because that'd be the easiest way to do it. But I don't know if the movie executives would green light that or not. If not, as I say, Nathan Fillion, whatever his name is, he needs to play the main role. I just don't know who they'd get to play Sully. Probably be like Harrison Ford or something ridiculous. They'd make a really stupid choice. And Elena Fisher would be some like bloody model or something. They wouldn't pick a proper actress, unfortunately. They'd just pick a pretty face, which is not how you do it. But I don't know, wait and see. Let's just hope if they do make it, they get it right. And that Naughty Dog do have input, because that's the most important part of all. So yeah, great question, mate. And his other question is, have I got the Walking Dead game? I haven't. I'll be honest with you, mate, I don't like the Walking Dead. I really like the first season, although it was boring as shit, and it was way too slow, and it took forever to get going. And there was too much emphasis on the people. I know that's why they were trying to do it, to be different and not be about just killing zombies, but God, it was boring. I did enjoy it, I just got really fed up. And then tried to watch season 2, and I just couldn't get into it at all. I just gave up trying to watch it. My dad's still watching it, and my dad loves it, and apparently he reckons it's got a lot better in the new season, so I should give it another try, just then if I can be bothered to sit there and watch them all again. But no, I haven't got the game anyway. And the last question is from Afid21. I hope I say that right, I think that's how you say it. Hello. And he says, not a chance to get on, so I'll have a go anyways. If you could have one arcade cabinet in your game room, what would it be? Operation Wolf. Don't need to think about that at all. It's the one cabinet I've always wanted to own, and I had the opportunity to buy it years ago, but I didn't, and I missed out on it, and I was gutted. It was just the logistics of getting it into my place at the time would have been too difficult. It would have been great though, because I'm sure it was about 150 quid at the time, which was, you know, nothing really for an arcade cab. So I would love to have owned that. One day, if I ever see it on eBay for a good price, I'm buying it. It's got to be done. And he says his would be Double Dragon. Another great choice. I mean, the classic arcade games, there's so many good ones out there, it's just really difficult to pick one. But I mean, Operation Wolf, even though it might get a bit boring after a while, I absolutely love that game to bits. It's just brilliant. Oh, that's it. I thought there was more than one question. Oh, there you go. Oh, well, thank you very much for the question, mate. Appreciate it. And thank you to everyone who's asked me questions, and I hope you appreciated all the answers and you enjoyed them. Don't know why I said appreciated, I meant to say enjoyed. But hope you like my answers. Hope you enjoyed the Q&A videos, and I just want to say a big, massive thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel and who continues to watch my videos, comment, rate them. God, I can't believe I just said that, but I just sound like one of them people who's like, rate, comment, subscribe. But no, seriously, thank you very much. I appreciate every single subscriber that I have. 3,000 subscribers is absolutely insane. Never thought when I started this channel I would have 3,000 subscribers. It's just not, it's completely mind-blowing that would happen. And people keep subscribing, which is fantastic. So yeah, I just want to say a massive thank you to all of you that are watching. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, I'll keep making the videos if you keep interested. That's, yeah, obviously. Thanks for watching, guys. See you all again soon.